Welcome into the Chiefs Report. I am your host, Harrison Graham. A lot of you guys submitted your questions using hashtag Chiefs, so it is time to do a Chiefs mailbag Q&A for the next 10 or 15 minutes or so. Tons of questions to get to, so let's get this rolling with Scarecrow Jason. Almost misread the first name. Off to a good start using hashtag Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs need a linebacker. Is there any good ones available right now? Yeah, well, first of all, I do kind of agree. The linebacker play wasn't great last year. Reggie Ragland's a free agent. Damian Wilson could get cut to save some money. Now, here's some notable guys I'm keeping my eye on. Corey Littleton being the top guy, tackling machine, really good in coverage. He's the perfect modern-day linebacker, would fit in great on this defense. John Bostic, Nick Kwiatkowski for the Bears, he's available. He's going to be a cheaper option. I'll be curious to see what Danny Trevathan's market is. He's getting a little older. He was banged up last year, so we'll see on that front. And then Kyle Van Noy as well. Again, the Chiefs don't have a ton of cap space, roughly 13, 14 million, kind of working with that range right now as we wait for the official cap number to hit this year. But there are some options. We'll just have to wait and see once we get closer to free agency. All right, Chiefs fans, you guys know the drill. At least some of you do. If you don't, the challenge this month has been to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of February. Been growing faster the past couple of weeks than we have the last couple of months, so let's keep it rolling. Chatsports.com/Chiefs. Just hit that big red subscribe button on our Chiefs-only channel. We'll have rumors. Speaking of free agency, got my free agent targets on the channel. You can check that video out. We've got draft coverage. I know you want a 7-round mock draft. That might be hitting the channel very, very soon. Trade rumors, trade targets, all of it this offseason. Chatsports.com/Chiefs. Go ahead and subscribe. Let's get to 1,000 by March 1st. Next question here, we got Carter Delaley. Delaley? I don't know. Hashtag Chiefs. Bryce Hall, first-round pick, question mark. Is he good? Maybe a good connection with Juan. Of course, talking about Juan Thornhill. They were teammates at the University of Virginia. Bryce Hall was excellent in 2018. If he would have come out last year, he would have been a first-round pick. Now, got hurt this year, wasn't playing quite as well the first half of the season, had ankle surgery, didn't play the last 6-7 games of the season. I think he's probably a day 2 prospect this year, which could be to the Chiefs' advantage. Now, cornerback is probably still my biggest need for Kansas City, so a guy like Bryce Hall, which you see the 2018 numbers, he led the nation in pass breakups with 21. He is a playmaker in the secondary, plays really well in zone coverage schemes, which the Chiefs do a lot. I think he could plug in and be a nice player in this secondary, especially we know Kendall Fuller's a free agent, Bashaud Breeland's a free agent as well. I think more of that round 2 pick, that number 63 overall pick, could be a nice spot to draft Bryce Hall. Should the Chiefs draft a corner in the first round? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Now, I'm very much in the camp, especially when you have a really good team, you don't have a ton of major needs, to just draft the best available guy, right? Like, if, a player who's a top 20 pick falls to 32 and he's not a major need, it's okay to draft him there. Like, that is how it works when you have a good roster. But if you think they should draft a corner in the first round, type Y for yes, type N for no. You might get hit with a YouTube ad break. This will be the pinned comment. Go ahead and scroll on down and answer this question. Next up, we got Monster Jam Fan 0311, hashtag Chiefs. Who do we need more, Bashaud Breeland or Kendall Fuller? Now, we just alluded to those two guys. Both are set for free agency. Mo Claiborne's a free agent as well. That's why I think the Chiefs' biggest need in the secondary is cornerback, and really on this entire team. You see what they did last year. The question is, who do you keep, Breeland or Fuller? Breeland had the better regular season. He was healthy throughout, had the 8 pass breakups. But keep in mind, both were fantastic in the playoffs. Kendall Fuller's 3 years younger. I think he's actually going to cost a little more because we saw his versatility. He can play nickel, he can play outside, he can play some safety as well. Breeland's kind of been that up and down journeyman type of player. I'd love to keep them both, but if you have to pick one, who you taking? You keep Bashaud Breeland, you keep him to Kendall Fuller, type B for Breeland, type F for Fuller. I think it's a tough question. A lot of it's going to come down to money, as a lot of these decisions do. If you have to keep one, you got to go with the younger, more talented guy, and that's Kendall Fuller. Even though Breeland was more consistent last year, we saw Fuller play a lot better after the hand injury and on into the playoffs. I'm typing my F for Kendall Fuller. You know what I'm also doing? I'm ordering Chiefs Super Bowl gear with our partner Fanatics because the prices they have, they're unbeatable. Chatsports.com/ChiefsSB. Just like the Chiefs were unbeatable in the playoffs, these deals are unbeatable as well. Hats, t-shirts, we got jerseys for you guys with the Super Bowl patch. We got hoodies, long sleeves. You got the zip-up jackets, raincoats, all kinds of stuff at chatsports.com/ChiefsSB. Check the comments, check the description. This stuff's not going to last forever. Go ahead and take advantage of those deals right now. Next up, we got Logster Gaming using hashtag Chiefs. Appreciate that. Should the Chiefs be interested in a Todd Gurley trade, or is Damian Williams, obviously, enough? I'm going to try and stay calm here. The Chiefs have less than $14 million in projected cap space, okay? Todd Gurley's cap hit next year, over $17 million. Todd Gurley regressed in 2019. We saw the regression late in 2018. His best days most likely behind him. And on top of all of that, even if it's peak Todd Gurley, A, Damian Williams is less than $3 million against the cap next year, and B, running backs aren't that important in the Chiefs system, guys. Damian Williams' numbers aren't going to wow you, but we saw what he did in the playoffs. He was just fine. He was a productive player. He's been great 2 years in a row. Now, look, if you're getting peak Todd Gurley, that's great, but I don't think you're getting that, guys. 2017, 2018, he was an MVP caliber player. He was fantastic. You see the regression there last year. Certainly some injuries popped up. He's been dealing with knee problems, but a lot of people in the know say those are kind of permanent issues. He's got tendonitis. That stuff doesn't go away. Give me the value player in Damian Williams, who did this in the playoffs. Almost 200 rushing yards, 100 receiving yards, and 6 total touchdowns in 3 playoff games. Sign me up for that. Rotation running back system, that is what the Chiefs should do moving forward. There is no reason to go bring in one of these high-paid running backs in this system. You got Patrick Mahomes and these receivers. It's mostly a passing attack anyway. Thunder and Grizzlies, interesting that you're popping up for a Chiefs question. We appreciate it using hashtag Chiefs. Who is the best player that they will sign or trade for? Obviously, just talked about a possible Todd Gurley trade. That is not going to happen. Trust me on that front. But I think you're going to focus on your own players first, right? And we've talked about this quite a bit. Chris Jones, he is the focus of Kansas City. Now, I like Mike Pennell, Breeland, and Fuller, who we've talked about. You'll probably have to pick one of those guys. Reggie Ragland, I think he's probably gone in all reality. You know, those first 3 or 4 are the guys to focus on, but especially Chris Jones. This guy's the focus. I know this might sound like a cop-out answer, like, oh, that's boring. You're just talking about current Chiefs. The Chiefs just won the Super Bowl, guys. You want to bring back as many players as possible, especially as all of your good players like Chris Jones, who is maybe the best free agent on the market. That's not an exaggeration. I know there's some big-time quarterbacks available, but Chris Jones is 25 years old, and he is a disruptive pass rusher from the defensive tackle position. Those guys don't grow on trees. I think he will be the best player the Chiefs sign in free agency, and that's just bringing back your own, and I think that's the way to go. Now, talking about trades, because he asked for trades and free agency, send in your best trade proposals for the Kansas City Chiefs. We talked about Darius Slay on the channel recently, possibility of a trade there. Send me your best proposals down in the comments. If we get enough of them, might do a video on the best trade proposals, so go ahead and comment those down below. Next question here from Waffle Man. Appreciate that. Should the Chiefs be interested in Shaq Barrett? Now, Shaquille Barrett is an interesting case study, right? Because he did nothing for Denver for 5 years on his rookie contract. Like, less than 12 sacks in 5 years, I believe, is the number. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, here he comes. Breakout season with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when they sign him on a 1-year, $4 million deal, I believe it was, $3 million guaranteed, 19.5 sacks, 6 forced fumbles. He was great this year, but was he a one-hit wonder? Is this who he is now? Was it a scheme issue? I'm not really sure. I know a couple of things. He's more of an outside linebacker pass rusher, which the Chiefs don't run a 3-4 anymore, so that's not an ideal fit. That's more of a D4 type of fit, which is why Kansas City traded him. I don't think the Chiefs will go after a guy like Shaq Barrett, but I won't completely rule it out if, say, Chris Jones gets too expensive. Maybe Shaq Barrett's a guy you could circle back to, but I'll put it at 5 to 10%. I don't think he's a realistic target. But who's your top free agent target? Non-Chiefs. Let's talk about non-Chiefs here, because obviously Chris Jones is the top guy. That's who we all want to bring back. But talking away from Chiefs, I did my top 15 free agent targets video up on the channel for Kansas City. Who's your top free agent targets this offseason? Go ahead and let me know down in the comments section. Adam Doherty, who do you think we get an offensive lineman for the number 32 pick? Obviously, the last pick of the first round because the Chiefs are Super Bowl champs. I think it's a possibility. I think the offensive line is certainly a need for the Chiefs. Now, the question is tackle or guard a bigger need? I think it is guard, but if you look at the tackle position, this is one of the strongest tackle groups in quite a while, according to all the draft experts. Those first 4 guys, top 25 prospects in this year's draft. Now, while tackle is not a major need, if a Becton or Thomas slips to you at 32, again, best player on the board, I'm down to take him. Now, interior offensive line is a bigger need because a couple of guys are free agents. Andrew Wiley's set for free agency, not as strong on the interior either. So I think you look at some of these guys like a Cushenberry or Hennessy, could be some round 2 options. Harrison Hunt, round 3. Ruiz is kind of in that fringe round 1 range. I would not take him at 32, but if you trade out of the first round, between 35 and 40, I'd be comfortable. But overall, I think it's a possibility at 32, but kind of the way some of these prospects are going to fall, I actually think it's kind of unlikely that the Chiefs will go O-line with the number 32 pick. All right, let's wrap things up with this here. Sminotu, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Having a little fun with my buddy Mitchell Renz here. How is Mitchell from the Raiders channel handling this? Well, first of all, Mitch does a great job. No one covers the Raiders better than Mitch on the internet. I know we're Chiefs fans here, but he does a fantastic job. He is the best in the business. I assume this is what he's referring to, Chiefs being the Super Bowl champs. Let's recap it, because why not? It's a whole lot of fun. Crushed the Texans, crushed the Titans, and then obviously in the Super Bowl was able to come back against the 49ers. Mitch is handling it fine. He's having to deal with all the Derek Carr trade rumors, but he's a great friend. He does a great job with the Raiders. Obviously, we're rivals when we play each other. If some of you guys watched the watch party, you guys saw that full force, but he does a great job doing the Raiders. I'm just trying to catch up, doing my thing here on the Chiefs Report. Thank you so much for watching the Chiefs Report here today. If you want more videos, hit this button right here for my top 15 free agent targets, plus whether or not the Chiefs should trade for Darius Slay. And if you want coverage all offseason long, let's get to 1,000 subscribers by March 1st. Just hit this button right here. Go Chiefs.